think magazines have tested this at like low 3s, like 3.1. So we just do that. I think we just listen to that, listen to it, and then all you do is literally release the brake and off you go. Ready for this? Not ready yet. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video in Australia. I am here in an Audi Australia TTRS, the very latest 2018 model. We're just leaving an amazing weekend at the Bathurst 12 hour. Next to me, I've got Justin from, I'm going to forget this, but I'll call you man of many talents.
Call me man of many talents. Lifestyle journalist.
Lifestyle journalist. Yeah. But what's the actual company name?
Man of many.
Man of many.
Yeah.
.com. Obviously, also wanted to say a big shout out to caradvice.com, who have got me out here, got me into Australia, got me this gig, and have just been incredible. Like, you guys are awesome. So it wasn't just Audi Australia. The only reason I'm really here is because of caradvice.com. We've been trying sort of all the cars, or all the RS models. The only one that they haven't got in Australia yet, ironically, is the RS4, the new RS4 that I've just road tested and put a video on. So it's been really interesting for me because I haven't driven things like the new RS3. I haven't driven this TTRS. I've spent a lot of time in the current RS6 performance, as you know, but this one that we've got on the fleet is pretty Larry in Vegas yellow, I think it is.
Vegas yellow, yep.
Yeah.
We got two Vegas yellow Audis.
Yeah.
R8, R6.
Justin spent a fair amount of time in this yesterday.
Yep.
And actually, although he is a lifestyle journalist, this boy knows more about cars than me and probably most of you guys and girls. He's a proper legend in terms of, like, yeah.
Is that because I started looking that old and shock yesterday a little bit too long, and you're like, there's something not right about this one?
Pretty much.
Like, he's not lifestyle.
No, he's not lifestyle at all. Yeah. I think you've actually gone through the lifestyle route just to get yourself in cars.
Pretty much, yeah. We do what we have to.
Do it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's awesome, and I have to say, we've both been talking about this car sort of off camera, and super impressed with it. I mean, the standout feature for me anyway, and the same with the RS3 is the fantastic 2.5 5-cylinder 5-pop, which now produces, it's the alloy block, so it's a lot lighter, so less understeer apparently, and it produces about 400 horsepower. Let's see, we're in dynamic. It's actually amazingly quiet at the moment. I've got a car up my arse, but listen to that. I mean, it's just glorious. And thankfully, like literally 3 days ago, I was in the original UR Quattro, my mate Joel's Quattro, and this sounds just every bit as organic as that car did. And I know it should, because it's the same recipe, but with all the modern technology and sort of sound deadening and fake sound that you get these days, you kind of expect to lose a lot of that. But this is pretty, it's probably the best sounding, isn't it, out of the cars we've had?
Absolutely, and it's almost like well suited for the look and the feel of the car.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where, you know, they chucked a big engine and something small and it's sort of like a bit look at me. It's sort of, everything sort of has a cohesion.
It does, yeah. The DSG box is great, and even the image of the TT. So as you can probably see, Justin looks like a bit of a hairdresser.
Yeah, background in hairdressing. Lifestyle.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. Is that actually a thing in the UK? Is the hairdresser comment?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh right, okay. Because when I mentioned, I wasn't sure if that was
Oh no, it's a global thing, yeah. The current generation of TTs are actual sports cars. Like, there's no messing around, these are brilliant. And ironically, although they're 2+2, again, we were talking about this yesterday, some people are like, oh, what's the point? It's like a 911, oh, what's the point in having rear seats? But actually, there is a point, because number one, you can actually get one or two smaller people in there for a journey if you need to, legally. And secondly, you've got, it's excess luggage space, and things like, you know, the rear boot, if you fold the rear seats down, it suddenly turns into like a mega sized sort of hatchback. I think, yeah, you're putting me under a lot of pressure, you know, like, I'm a bit nervous with a lifestyle blogger next to me. It's quite hard, you know, I feel that you're always judging my driving talent. I should be fanging up here, but I won't be. Oh, nice bit of road surface.
Freshly laid.
Yeah. And see, look, we'll get some sand out of here. My favourite to what we're talking about. So yeah, with the hatchback, like you said, 2 road bikes, no worries, and with the wheels off and stuff. And that in a car that from the outside looks really small and impractical, is pretty cool. And again, cabin space. I always go on about this. Like Justin, what, you're 6'1"-ish?
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm 6'3", 6'4". Again, unfortunately, the seats are the same as the ones that are in the RS4, and they're just a bit small for me. I just feel a little bit cramped in them, and my head sits well above the back of the headrest. So in terms of, I don't know, many things, I just wish they were a bit bigger. But again, that's really my only complaint, especially in terms of the interior, because it's just so clean and simple in here. Audi's digital cockpit is sublime, and again, head-up display, in my opinion, is the future. But if the cockpit's high enough like this one, I'm not having to take my eye off the road too far. And what is displayed down there is awesome. Like, I've got a lovely big speedo in the middle with a nice big number, which you need in Australia because they're so militant on speed limits. And then you've got the rev counter around the outside, and I've got, like, you know, my nav on the left and whatever else on the right. And you can swap that around, you know, you can cycle it through different things and have it how you want. So that's great, and just the dashboard's cool, and even things like on the vents themselves, there's toggles in the middle that control the air and your seat heating and stuff like that. So they've really minimalised the buttons, you know, which I love, as long as it doesn't then become overcomplicated and there's not too many systems and whatever.
The air conditioning thing is weird because it's really intuitive. It's like,
yes,
the air comes from the vent,
yeah,
so I will turn the control at the vent.
Exactly. A bit like, I mean, we've always had the on-off circular vents on older cars,
yeah,
but now they've just gone, well, why not give us the actual, well, essentially the volume of the air, yep, in the middle. Like you said,
it makes so much sense. It's, yeah, so intuitive.
Yeah, you could put, like, even someone like my dad could get in this car and figure it out, you know, like someone real old school that hasn't had, like, you know, hasn't had a super modern car, he would not have issues controlling. And I think that's really important because, you know, the iDrive 6 is great if you're a BMW man and the new MMI and all this, but if you're not used to tech and you jump into a brand new car with all this, I can imagine it being, like, really complicated, you know,
yeah,
like,
and intimidating. And
you know, you're spending too long looking down playing with things really, when you should be focusing on the road. So right, so another standout feature for this car is the launch control, and honestly I think it's quoted at about 3.45 seconds, or maybe it's 3.8.
I think it was quicker.
Was it quicker? But I think magazines have tested this at, like, low threes, like, yeah, 3.1. So if we just do that, I think we just listen to it, and then all you do is literally release the brake and off you go. Ready for this? Are you ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
Cool. Oh,
there it is.
Wow.
There it is.
I had the speed limiter set then because we're in Australia. I didn't want to break any laws. There's no laws about accelerating fast.
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, that'll be next year.
Once this video goes live.
A lot of launch control systems are a bit of a gimmick, but as you experienced yesterday, you're just like, I can't stop doing this. Like, activate it because it's so cool, and it's really does punch you. So yeah, dynamically, you're saying it's a really good car.
Amazingly well balanced, and surprisingly fun, as weird as that is to say.
Yep.
It feels a little bit more chuckable than you probably would have thought.
Yep.
A lot of grip, good steering feel, great under brakes, comfortable enough as a daily.
Yep, I'd agree. Especially when it's in comfort and the dampers are sort of softened off, it's a really nice ride.
Absolutely, yeah. It's hard to follow. And I was saying before, obviously the RS5 in a different league, but in terms of fun for your dollar,
yep,
I definitely think that this would be my pick.
Yeah, and that's kind of ironic because in the UK this is a fair chunk cheaper than the RS5.
Yep.
Whereas over here it's still, I think,
$30,000 difference.
About $30,000 difference, yeah. So about £15,000 ish now with the exchange rate. But yeah, this is a lot of car for the money in terms of, like, fun factor.
Absolutely.
The RS5 is, I mean, I'm about to do a full review of the RS5 tomorrow, ironically, and I know it's going to be very similar to the RS4. So in terms of its capabilities, etc., it's amazing. But it's more of a fast GT sports car, whereas this is just more of a sports car.
Yep.
You know, it's a real driving dynamics. It feels very similar to a Cayman platform, which I would never have said about the previous gen of the TTRS, or sorry, even the TT. It just never felt great. But this one really does feel planted. You sit nice and low, and it's a good place to be.
Aesthetically, we haven't really spoken about the TT.
No.
Have you been a fan since day one, and then of the evolution?
Of the new one? Yeah, I've certainly liked it. I mean, the old one was never my taste of car, but I never disliked it. I thought it was quite cool, futuristic looking car. And I think the same with the R8, both the generations. And again, when this new generation came out, I wasn't blown away by it, but it's kind of growing on me. And obviously then when you go for the full fat RS model or TTRS like we're in, then it looks even better because you got like, you know, we were looking at the brake calipers last night on it. It's just, they're monstrous, aren't they? Like,
absolutely.
And the wheels look great, and you know, body styling, etc. And you get some, you know, clues in here that you're in an RS car. So yeah, I think the standard one is maybe a bit more hairdresser, but the full fat version, you need to be a good hairdresser.
You need to be an exceptional hairdresser, and I think that if you were driving a TTRS as a hairdresser, you could probably wear it proudly.
Definitely.
Whereas before, people would sort of ask, "Oh, what you do?" Or if you stepped out of your TT, went into the salon, people would heckle you. But this is something where you could probably park, maybe pull out your scissors or your comb. Maybe just give yourself a trim. Let people know you are a hairdresser.
And then just
go about your day.
Which kind of fits in with the modern world, you know, like we're sort of finally opening up to everything, and everything's acceptable, and that's the same.
I'm wearing it on your sleeve. Yes, I'm a hairdresser. Yes, I have a TT.
But it's faster than your supercar.
Yes, and it's more fun.
Yes, so deal with it, and it's a lot cheaper.
And I can fit 2 bikes in the back.
Or a load of scissors.
How much hair equipment could you fit in the back of a TT?
I think that's a whole another video, really.
That definitely is
Maybe Audi Australia, could you fly me out to sort of maybe do that video with Justin at some point?
Do you actually have in the States like mobile barbers where they'll have a van that's kitted out, and they'll come into an area and people will come and say pay £5 and get a haircut?
I would like to say, I guess we have, but mate, judging, like, have you spent any time looking at the top of my head? This head?
I mean, I've definitely looked around your head over the last couple of days. Top of your head I haven't looked at.
No, well, I don't. I tend not to. I just shave it. So I'm into a barber for years.
So you shave yourself?
Yep.
If this is a massive hypothetical. If a mobile barber came into your neighbourhood. That was a TTRS. And it was let's say, look, in Australia it's about $10 Australian, but it's in a van. But because it's in a TTRS, that adds a premium.
Yeah, sure.
Would you pay £20 for a haircut in a TTRS that came to you?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, number one, I'd know that he was a car guy as well. Or girl. So I could have a bit of sort of chat with them, compliment them on their car, and it would just give them. I think it would just make them much cooler.
Okay. And as like a probably VIP treatment, could potentially be you get to drive the TT around your neighbourhood. As he or she trimmed your head and beard. And maybe this might be ridiculous. I know everything else is very, very plausible. But there could be someone in the back doing the shampoo, the head massage.
So literally like that.
Yeah, so you're like that, and little hands just come over.
And you know what? So this is all tied in. You know, I was at the beginning of the video, I was saying the one complaint I've got about most RS cars is the seats, the headrest is too low. Maybe that's why, because look, they could access with no problem. It's from behind, they can access me.
There is a business model there. Maybe one of your viewers might do it.
Absolutely.
I would definitely get involved.
Alright, cool.
If someone out there did it.
And honestly, if you did, I would pay that £20. So if it's worth it for that alone, then do it. set it up and come over. Oh man, this is one of the best videos ever. Well, at least we're laughing. Everyone's probably switched off by this point.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? Jokes aside with the hairdresser thing, it is a fantastic bit of kit. In the UK, it is a bit cheaper because we don't pay all the luxury car tax and stuff. But then you can't compare it. It's it's apples and pears, because then in Australia everything is more expensive. So in terms of like luxury cars, so when you look at it in its rivals, it's right up there. And let's face it, Caymans and Boxers, as good as they are, they're 4 pots down and they don't sound good. And to me, like, it's a sports car, especially in this price range, it has to have a good sounding engine, doesn't it? That's what. Well, whilst we can, before everything turns to fully electric, we need to enjoy the combustion engine, and the 5-pot has always been one of the best, and this thing is just, it's awesome. So yeah, Justin, thanks a lot for featuring in my video with car advice in Audi Australia.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. And honestly, it's been great sort of hanging out with you, and I'm not just saying that for the camera. Guys, make sure you please subscribe if you haven't already, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video for whatever reason.
I loved it.
Did you?
I did.
Sweet. Yeah. Thanks, mate. There's 2 thumbs up. Yeah. And yeah, leave any comments and questions below. I would say links to Justin's Instagram below, but actually
he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it.
Which was sort of an issue for you, wasn't it? Like you were sort of like, what?
No, but it's like when you're, it's like you don't have.
I guess I am a minority, aren't I?
You are, but no, but a good minority. I've used social media to my advantage lately, which has been great. But there is a fine balance, and that's a whole different story in the video. But no, I'll put a link to your company Instagram below, because that's really